guys, and welcome back to the Through and Five Sports Podcast. We are back. Murphy Foss has joined us for his second time ever.
Skinny Murph.
Third.
Slim Murph.
Third, yes. Murph has been here 3 times. Sorry.
Last week.
Today, you guys know about it. You guys know what it is. 3v3 Schulman tournament. Best day of the year.
Yes, sir, baby.
We are here with a 2-part podcast. This is part 1, reacting to Nolan Giblin and Max Schulman's rankings of the captains.
All right, I'll let you finish, and then I'll dissect that a little bit.
Yeah, and then part 2 will be the rankings and grades for the draftable players. Go ahead and talk.
All right, so this list, it's not at least for the captains. I don't know what I'm going to do for the draftable players, but the captains, I'm not ranking the captains. We can do that like on the podcast. We can rank them 1 through 11. I think there is, but on the PowerPoint that you'll see, it's none of them are ranked. They just have their grade, their report, and what college they go to. The college is a new addition instead of NBA comparisons. That's too difficult. People got all upset about who their NBA comparison was, even though someone thinks that they're, Damian Lillard, and I'm like, there's no one in this world that's like Damian Lillard other than Damian Lillard. But I won't get into that. But Max wanted me to say a couple of things before we start. So for everyone that played in it last year, I think last year was kind of like a mess, I think, of all the 4 years that we had it. I think there was too many people. I think we all kind of realized that. So Schulman said there will be, in fact, fewer teams this year than last year. And his words, not mine, in quote, if you're buns, don't be expecting to be getting big minutes. It'll be the captain's decision. So if you don't think you're the best basketball player but you want to play, you better get your ass on the court and start improving your game ASAP. And then he said that the last thing he wanted me to say is that the tournament is still planned for the summer, but there's no definite date as of right now due to the pandemic going on. Shout out Shane for not really following the social distancing rules. Shout out Shane. Shout out Bailey. You guys are having a lot of fun together like every day. Other than that, Schulman will come on. He said after he sets the date, he'll come on to talk about all like the other things that go on. But without further ado, I think everyone's ready to see this year's version of the captain's reports.
Yeah, wait one second. This will be the only place you can see it.
Yeah.
It will not be sent out to anyone until maybe after the draft. You will have to watch the podcast for the rankings. So
yeah, the neither ranking will be posted anywhere until after we do the other video. We have full rights to the document, as does Max Schulman. It's ours. Schulman can do whatever he wants to do with it, but hopefully he'll hold on to it until we release it. So if you want to see where you fit, especially for the people that are draftable, you're going to have to wait till the next one. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, you guys can see that, right?
Sir.
Yeah.
All right. So 2020 Captains reports, we got the Schulman logo on there. Everything's looking nice. And if you guys want me to add anything to any of them, I can actually type on the PowerPoint too. So just let me know if you want anything added for anybody. All right. Without further ado, these are in alphabetical order. There's no specific order. There's alphabetical, but the first guy up is our very own Stephen Baker. So Steve, the school Steve goes to is obviously State University of New York at Cortland. The grades this year, there's no overall numbers because people, again, we're getting all fucking butthurt over that. So it's strictly grades. Steve is an A to an A+. All the captains are A to A+. Some captains are A+, others are A to A+. Depends. These are all my opinion too. This isn't, a consensus thing. So my report on Steve is he's going to be a load to guard down load. And for whatever soul gets matched up with him, I'm here to apologize now. Because you'll be going up against a 305-pound, not 300, 305-pound immovable force in the paint. Steve, as he knows, lacks the height advantage that he used to have.
True.
But what he makes up for it is now the strength advantage is probably as great as the height advantage used to be. No one can prove that they can hold Steve down strength for strength-wise. And Baker, because of the loss of height, has developed a nice outside game and will always defend and rebound. Plays with loads of heart and will do whatever it takes to win. And as always, we expect a good showing from his team. So if you guys want to
I appreciate the review. I think it was very generous. I'm clearly out of my prime, as we've all talked. Like I've said before, I'm trying to turn back the clocks for one day. I appreciate the grade. I think it's very generous. But yeah, no, I used to enjoy being like a foot taller than everybody else, and then everybody caught up. So now I have 100 pounds than everyone else, which is somewhat of an advantage. But it's tough. But I appreciate the 8A plus, very generous, and
You're welcome. You're
I have no
welcome.
complaints.
Tim Murphy, anything you want to add?
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm just somebody that has been matched up with Steve in the past, and it's just not possible to drive against him. Just
Like hitting a wall.
Yeah, I mean, he's a college football lineman. You're
Yeah.
not going anywhere. It's just not going to happen. Don't try it. It doesn't work. I've tried it. Hadn't worked. So,
And this is when Murph was Big Murph, not Slim Murph.
This is big, powerful Murph. They used to, So Murph, I want to see the agility though, man. I'm looking forward to a showing because I've never seen this athleticism that's been hiding deep down all along. So I think it's gonna shock the world.
In the past, my signature move was lowering the shoulder into somebody and driving, but I tried that against you. It didn't even work then. So yeah, not gonna work now.
I mean, there's no hiding the fact Steve is now 2 times as heavy as me. There's no way I'm guarding him. I could try. I would get thrown away. So I'm hoping for a good captain this year.
I think a good comparison.
Steve, you can't stop Steve, man. Oh.
No, when I was younger, I was more of a Miami Heat Shaq, a little bit more dominant. Now I'm more of a Boston Celtics Shaq, still really big, but just doesn't have the finesse he used to. So I'm just, I'm gonna give it my all, and I look forward to the tournament.
All right.
Wait. I have a question. I have a question for Steve.
Oh.
As captain, who are you like? What are you looking for in your 2 to 3 players that you're going to be drafting this year?
So when I was really successful my first year and went to the finals and had a coin flip game against Shane, I had 2 guys that could, I need somebody who can shoot the ball around the perimeter. I need 2 guys that can then hustle, play defense. But something else, as I've gotten a little less skilled, I need somebody else who can score the ball. Because it used to be just 2 guys that can get me the ball, and now I feel like I need somebody else to score because I'm not the player I used to be. So I think if somebody else can score the ball pretty frequently, I'd love to pick them up. I'm pretty open right now. I'm really looking for some different guys. Turner was a guy I would love to have in my team this year, but he's undraftable after having a terrific performance. But those are some qualities I look in players.
All right, so yeah, just as going off what Steve said with the whole undraftable thing. So Turner and Tarkey are the 2 undraftable players. Their reports are done on the other one, but I won't show them until we show the whole other one too. But their 2 reports are done.
As
And
long as they're captain,
if Turner or Tarkey wants the reports because they won, I will send them their reports because, they earned it. So that's for them. I think I already showed Tarkey his, but all right, on to who's next. Brot. All right. Captain Nick Brotzki, school, Elon University. Grade again, 8A plus. You're going to be seeing a lot of 8A plus. So Brot didn't play last year because he broke his hand after we lost the sectional championship. We won't talk about that. But Brot is probably the most athletic kid, that we hang out with. He's a freak in nature. I mean, maybe he'll make it deeper in the tournament. Hasn't done it yet. I mean, he can jump out of the gym. He can defend. He might foul. He can kind of rebound. But, he struggles most of the time to make, like, wide-open layups, and then he'll shoot contested threes. Most of the time he's just going to draft Carter and let Carter take, every shot, and then that's just what's going to happen. Carter likes it. Carter has fun and Brot has fun. So if they're having fun, can't really blame him for that. But if he's playing seriously, you probably don't want to play against him. But we all know that he isn't going to take it seriously. So you don't have to worry about Brot too much as a captain, even though he's probably, one of the better players if he took it seriously.
Yeah, no, you nailed it there. When he takes it seriously, like I remember just in CYO and I don't think I've played him in the tourney before, but he's just, he's so athletic. It's tough. He's the tallest guy we have, him and Hannes. And Adam, a great athlete, but Brot's a little bit quicker on his feet from side to side, and Brot's a tough matchup, man.
Yeah, I'd agree. Brot's just a very good athlete. Inside source may or may not be myself. Has noticed that Brot is down some weight from last year. He's a little thinner. He's a guy who maybe a Draymond-style player, such as myself, will try to target and beat up a little bit down low and maybe try to get in his head a little bit. But, that's probably Brot's only weakness. Doesn't have a lot of weakness, except for not taking it seriously. That's the other.
Yeah, Brot, one more thing. Your radio show, on your radio show, whatever his name is, he's got to figure it out, man.
Yeah, well, he just needs to close his mouth. That's the main thing.
We need more Brat, less of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
more
exactly.
Brat, less of that guy.
Exactly.
All I'll say about is Brat, obviously freaking nature, like Gibb said. But I mean, if you're out there hoping to be drafted by Brat, it's probably not going to happen. You know, he sticks to Carter and he sticks to whoever else he's taken. So, you know, some captains you could talk to, hey, draft me. They might think about it. I think Brat is one of those coaches. He's got his game plan, and you know, I expect him to actually try this year. After missing last year, I expect to see Brat go off this year.
All right. Say I don't necessarily disagree with that, but you know, it's also Brat, so can't really take too much in that. All right, next guy, Chuck, captain, Tyson, school, Colgate University, grade again, A to A plus. The report on Tyson. Tyson is a very hard player to guard, as we all know. He's strong while running in the paint, finishes a lot of contact, doesn't bitch about a lot of getting hacked either, which you know we all respect. He defends well and definitely gets after it on the boards. However, I know he doesn't want to hear this. His jumper is not as good as he thinks it is. It goes in, you know, sometimes, but he thinks he's got some like Steph Curry just automatic jumper. Not the case. But he does play with a lot of passion and he does have the will to win. His teams somewhat fare well in the tournament more often than not, and maybe this is the year he can break through and win one if he gets the right guys on the team. But I think that's a pretty fair report.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair report, Gabe. The thing with Tyson is I think while playing at Jackson's court and playing with Tyson, his outside game, when Tyson gets hot, he's hot. That's like the big thing.
Very hot.
Yeah, he's very hot. And when that happens, you got to guard him from everywhere. And you just got to be careful of that. But also, you know, Tyson on this type of court could do really well just taking it to the basket. And if he started calling fouls, then we probably would have to like do it every single time because he's very physical when he attacks the rim and he's smooth. And I think you nailed this report.
Right. Yeah, he's a very aggressive player. He's obviously fast, athletic. In football, he sometimes has some issues with the bringing in the deep ball just with the hands. But basketball, he's got a little more control, so he's a trustworthy, reliable player on the court. Yeah, Tyson's a good player.
You know, last year I hoped to be drafted by Tyson. I wasn't there by the time he was picking for a second player. So, you know what? Maybe this year it's different. Maybe I play with Tyson this year. Very good player. I think he'll do well in this tournament.
All right. Next up, good old Bobby. Captain, Bobby Galusha. School, University of Tampa. Grade, 8A plus. Again, another 8A plus. Like I said, it's going to be very frequent. So Bobby's a very athletic guard who never seems to have enough help in the tournament. However, the question remains is if Bobby still as athletic as he was before he went to Tampa. Has he lost a step due to the constant clubbing and partying that he did that we all saw on Snapchat and Instagram? That will be seen in the tournament right when he shows up. But, you know, you don't really lose your basketball like skills like ball handling and shooting, all that kind of stuff. So he'll still have those. And even if he does lose half a step, he was, you know, so much almost more athletic than everyone there. So he'll be able to match up with basically everyone at the tournament. Looking forward to watching him play and watching his team play, even though they generally lose, you know, pretty early on. Shout out Bobby Murphy against Steve last year. That was awesome to watch. That was a fun game to watch. But I think this is another fair statement. Then you guys can talk about it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Bobby's a competitor, man. We had a hell of a battle last year, very heated. And you gotta love it, man. That's what the Max's 3-on-3 tournament. It's the one day every year that everyone brings their A game, and you know, Bobby's a fun guy to play against because we talked a little shit to each other. We had a good time. It was quite the event. What I think you got a good report. This is a good grade.
Yeah, Bobby's a very passionate player. He's very competitive. He gets into it, which is great. You want that in a captain. He is a person who I would attempt to Draymond a little bit. But he'll likely give you some pushback, and we saw that last year. So, yeah, good player, good captain.
I don't know who Bobby normally drafts, but I view Bobby as probably a better defender than he is offensively. Although he's very good.
I think I agree with
his athleticism. I would expect him this year to draft some shooters, wherever that be. But yeah, he brings the defense mind. He's going to get you some steals. He's going to play physical like we saw last year versus Steve. That game, very heated, but we love to see that as fans. Love to see it.
All right, next Next up is myself. So captain, Nolan Giblin, School Mercy College, grade 8A+. So this, I wrote it in third person, and it's good. So it's going to sound weird. I will just say I instead of Giblin. So I've never won shit at this tournament. Much as I'd like to say I've won anything, I have not. The first I think I've gone is like the round of 8, and then I lost. My team's always underperformed. I never draft well. I always draft players that are the best and not players that I could play with better. But I'm done. I'm done. This is it. I'm done this year. This is my year. I'm promising that I'm making a deep run in this year's tournament. You can put your whatever you want on it. I will be somewhat in contention to win the championship this year. So whoever's drafted by me must be on their A game. And I am saying that now. If you're not playing well, if I have 4 people, I will sit you and you will not play. This is my year to win. I need to win. I need to win. And I know I'm a shooter. I will shoot the shit out of the ball no matter if I'm hot or I'm cold. I can shoot myself out of a game, but I'm going to improve that this year. I'm making that promise to myself and everyone who was on my team. I'd say I'm a pretty good defender, and I think I can rebound a little bit for a guard. I think I can make some good passes when I'm playing with the right people and I'm, doing the right things and not trying to play hero ball. And if I get the team this year, you better watch out. And all I want to do is win that trophy. And even though I have a lot of respect for Tarky, I want to shut his fucking big mouth up. That's my goal this year. Shut his mouth up.
I'll go first. Let me go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
My first ever year in the tournament, I was blessed to be on Nolan Giblin's team, and I was part of that 4-person team, and so I found myself swapping time with me and Drew.
A 4-person team is hard, man. It's hard.
Yeah, it is. It's harder than you
think. Me and Gib, was it this summer or technically last summer? We're almost in the summertime, but last summer me and him were 2v2 team at Manny's driveway. We clicked well.
Dominant.
Well, yeah, very dominant. Won many rings. So Giblin knows how to win now, and I expect him to bring that to the tournament. Draft well this year, and you know what? I hope for his sake he makes a deep run.
That's all. I don't even need to win. I need to get further than Tarky. If I do that, I win. I win the championship.
I forgive myself again. I think you did good in your report. You can give yourself a little more credit than you did. Forgive, like if you get hot, man, you can just make a run. And I feel like I feel like I'm the same way with as far as like I'm gonna shoot the ball a lot no matter what. And you're just like a 10 times better shooter than me. But as far as if you get hot, man, you can make a run. This is like one of those years where it depends on how aggressive people are. If people want to take it like, oh, this is gonna be a fun day, then you're gonna lose to teams like Gibby and other teams that are more competitive. I think that's the reason you might be able to run.
I think this year is going to be interesting because a lot of the kids that used to play high school sports aren't playing in college. So there's only a few of us every day waking up, working out every day that we did while we were at school. So I think that's going to play into my advantage because I went through a whole strength program for a year. Just like, Steve, it wouldn't even matter if you were playing a sport or not. You still would have been working out every day. So I think that's going to play into an advantage.
I think, yeah, and especially like, not that they're definitely a competitive advantage. And guys that play in college know it's like a lot more competitive. So you're kind of bringing that back. So you're going to understand like whether it's a rec league or you're playing a high level baseball, you're coming back with a competitive nature, and you got to be on your toes if you're playing Gibby's team because it's going to be a tough game for sure. So I don't know. I think you can give yourself a little more credit, but yeah, I think this year you could have a good run. I'm completely with you now. Now I'm just talking about myself a little bit. Tarky, me and Tarky talk a lot of shit when we play football against each other. Everybody knows that. We have like I love Tarky to death. He's one of my closest friends, but we have like this personal vendetta when it comes to sports. My agenda is to always beat him in any way, shape, or form that I possibly can. And that this year I'm going against, they play well together, but I feel Gib. I really want, if it was the first round of the championship, I want to play them and I want to beat them. And I'm working for that. I'm hoping some way along the line that happens. So I feel you, man. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I just know from my personal experience, Gib, me, and Shane have never lost a 3-on-3 game together.
That's true.
So it may not be possible to have Shane, but I just know Gib and I can do some things together on the court.
Yeah, to your guys' credit, that time it was a Carter's grad party.
Yeah, it was at his grad party. We didn't
I still couldn't. I remember you guys probably had like 12 straight points. That chemistry was very odd, but
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what like we played like 8 games in a row, and Steve kept coming back like every 3 games with 2 new people, and it was we somehow just kept winning.
I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, no,
that happened on a couple of different occasions. Once at Carter's, once at
we played Dara, Tim Alexander, and John Wing, and we beat them like 6 times in a row. Yeah, and they thought they were going to beat us. Laughable.
Yep.
All right, so on to the next guy. We got Ameen Iraqi.
First A+.
George Washington University. Ameen is the first A+, and I think even if skill-wise, he might not be the A+, but his accomplishments easily push him to the A+ range. He is a legend at this tournament. And as I said in the first sentence, he's the most accomplished player in the tournament. He's won 2 championships while being the best player on his team in both years. He's fundamentally sound in everything he does and plays the big man spot very well. But even though he's the best player, he's very unselfish and will do everything he can to get anyone on his team involved. I think Tarky and Turner and Thomas Harley, who won the first championship with him, can all attest to that. He's a very intelligent player. He's a good rebounder and defender. He finishes well at the rim. He's looking for his 3rd ring this year, and with the team he has, he will definitely have a chance to win it again, even though I will personally do whatever I can to stop Tarky from winning another ring.
Great report. I completely agree. Well deserving the A+. He just always finds a way to win. I don't know if you guys know, but I did get some footage after I was knocked out last year in the second round or whatever of the last few games. I'm starting to study Ameen Iraqi's moves because it's been a few years since I played against him. He's like a king in the post, man. He's got 3 go-tos, and I'm not going to tell you guys anymore because it's a competitive advantage that I have now. But that Ameen, man, he definitely deserves A+. He plays his ass off. I love playing with him on JV. That was a fun squad. Giblin were on that too. That was a really fun team. And Ameen's a hell of a basketball player, especially at Max's. It just turns into another level. He's like a fucking Tim Duncan, Akeem Olajuwon baby.
He's like when you see when Turner and Tarky. I mean, I call Ameen's team the Spurs. I mean, they're literally the Spurs.
Yeah, they are the Spurs. They play good basketball together, man. And I really like to compete against them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is a very accurate report. I feel like Ameen is always somebody, even like when we were younger, who's always been like very fundamentally sound, like doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, like everything he does, it's just like right on cue.
Yeah. So, and he's a feisty player. If you get on his nerves, he'll be right back in your face. So, yeah, I think it's an overall pretty accurate report. Not much else.
Steve just said he's studying his moves, and he's got a lot of them. That kid in the post very well. That's where you want to be, or that's where you do not want to be when you're guarding him, because he can score on you in the post. He's a kid you want to be drafted by. Can't be drafted by him this year because he's a winner.
Yep.
But if they lose this year and we do this again next year, you definitely want to be on his team. But we already know he drafts Tarky if he were to be drafting, and then one other player. So it's kind of rare.
He somehow stole Turner in the second round. I mean, that's just ridiculous. We won't get into it.
I think he had a late.
He might have had because we do a snake draft. For the people that don't know, we do a snake draft. So he might have had like the 9th pick and then pick 9th Tarky and then like the 11th or 12th.
I think it was something like that. I think he had like 7, 8, or 9, and then he just pretty much. Yeah.
Realistically, having the first pick, you're going to be on a team with 4, which already is a disadvantage, and then you're not going to get to pick until like the end of the second round. So, take that for what it's worth too. All right, next up, we got Nick Mandelis, school, State University of New York at Geneseo, grade 8A+. Report, Mandelis is definitely one of the better 3v3 players every year. 3v3, not even at the tournament, just anytime you go to play 3v3 or 5v5 pickup, he's always one of the better players, if not the best. He's hard to guard and hard to slow down due to how tall and long he is. He can basically score from anywhere on the floor. He plays good defense. He deflects a lot of passes and blocks a lot of shots thanks to his length. Only downside is that he's underweight for a big man, and like if you put him against Steve, a team with Steve or Shane or Brat or Ameen, like they'll bully him down in the paint. But what he lacks in size, he easily makes up for in his skill, especially his offensive skill. His team's always a threat to win the tournament, basically just because of Nick. And if he can get going, that's the hard team to stop.
I think this is the first one where you are. Well, I mean, it's not wrong in the grading. I think he's an A+. I think his defense and offense makes him one of the best two-way players at this tournament. But you definitely want to be drafted by him. I was talking to him this morning about this. I'm trying to get myself on his team, but we'll see what happens. Very good player.
Yeah, Nick's really good for sure. I agree with the analysis. I think he's also a good shot blocker too. That's something I picked up on as I stopped growing and he continued to, which is something I still don't accept. I'm still taller than him at basketball. But as a shot blocker, like he's a good guy that even if you get him down low, he might be able to block a shot. Nick's a hell of a player. I think Nick is going to be one of the guys this year that could make a run in the tournament depending on what matchups he faced, because I feel like he had a tough road last year. I know I did. I had to play Shane and Sahil early on last year, and then Nick I think had to play those guys early on too. So that's really tough when you play Shane's team early on because Shane of course is one of the better players in this tournament.
My team. That was my team.
I think Nick yeah, and Tim, my bad Tim, and I think Nick will make a run this year. But I agree with the report.
Yeah, Nick he's a very annoying player to play against, just because he is just very lanky. Yeah, he's a guy where you want to maybe try to Draymond him if you're that type of player. Annoy him physically, just try to push him around. You can fluster him a little bit if you start pushing around. He'll get a little mad at you, and I think it's great. I feed off of it as an opponent, and he's frustrating to play against, and he's just a very skilled player.
Yeah, good report, Gib.
All right, next up.
By the way, really quickly, Nick, the best player comparison I think you had the entire year last year. You had Brandon Ingram for Nick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, best. That was a spot on.
Yeah, no, it took me about 12 seconds to come up with Brandon Ingram for Nick.
Yeah, my bad.
Because for some people, like Murphy, all right, Murphy's Draymond, even though he's not Draymond. Like that fits Murphy perfect. Yeah, for some other people, I think we gave Tarky Matthew Dellavedova because we didn't want to give him too much credit and give him Kyle Lowry, even though he's the definition of Kyle Lowry in the tournament. But Nick's was the easiest. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got Patrick Murad, school, State University of New York at Binghamton. Grade, he's an 8A plus. I literally just copied and pasted my report from last year, and you'll see that's what I did. But he's a freak athlete. He never wins shit, though. I mean, he's lost more than I've lost more than Bobby's lost because he likes to shoot too much. But his report from last year still perfectly applies. So he's possibly the quickest player on the court. He's a great defender. He's a magician with the ball, but sometimes he can get a little sloppy with the ball handling. Here and there, he might lose one, but he's still very good with the ball. But he thinks his jump shot is better than it is, and he will launch at some times. And if he feels disrespected, he will definitely shoot, and he will definitely miss because then he gets in his own head. And all you have to do, if you want the ball back, you just turn your back, and while you're guarding, you just turn your back, and he will shoot it, and he will probably miss. But he makes up for it with a lot of hustle and a lot of trash talk, which is his game.
Yeah, good report. I agree. That's spot on. I think Pat, one thing is he's a great competitor, which is huge. But he also, as a coaching mindset, you need somebody to coach Pat. Pat usually drafts two guys to give him the ball.
Yeah.
And I think Pat needs to and that's what I used to do, but I'm learning I need somebody to help me out too, and I think he needs that. We got a tournament with guys like Ameen and Nick and Shane that dominate consistently. You need somebody else to score on your team. So I think if Pat gets another score, he can make a run, but if he keeps getting guys just to give him the ball, then it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's very hard to be a guard captain in this because you're focusing on big man, but when you draft big men, you're normally going to have to be the best shooter on your team, and we know Pat struggles with shooting, but we'll see what Pat does. Very good player. See if he drafts well this year.
Yeah, Pat's just a very good athlete. I don't have a ton of experience playing against him, but you just can tell would be fun to guard.
Mm-hmm. And I can tell you from experience, it's not because he has the hustle of Noah Mandelis, but he has the ball handling skill of Max. So
what a comparison!
All right, next up we got Kaleb McCloud, school, the University of Oregon. He went to Syracuse last year, but I saw in a story today that he's going to Oregon. So shout out Kaleb, good for you. His grades, I'm giving him an 8A plus. I think this is going to be his last tournament because he's going to Oregon. So I don't know what's going to happen after this year. So I think he'll want to go out with a bang, and he definitely very well could. I mean, he can dunk pretty much at any given time. He's probably I think he's probably the only kid, maybe other than Brott, that can just get the ball and just dunk on someone if he actually wants to. He's super athletic. It's a good overall game. It's a good shot. But the question is, can he actually win the tournament? Because I don't think I've ever seen him do anything memorable. All I remember is when he dunked on Bobby's team last year, and that was cool. But other than that, I don't really ever remember him doing much. But his team will have a chance to make a lot of noise simply because, of Kaleb.
Yeah, I agree. Really, really quickly, I think my first year when I made the championship, and I'm not going to give myself too much credit here because I had a great team with Josh Kowalczyk and Kaleb, who I got in the third round, which I think was the biggest steal in draft history. Kaleb was athletic then, and he was by no means was he a bad player. He was pretty good. He got the ball out, got a lot of rebounds, hit a couple of clutch shots. I think one of them was to knock out. It wasn't Max's team, but it was one of the better teams in the tournament, and he had a big shot there. But Kaleb, you can just talk about development as a player. He starts as a third-round pick, develops, gets better every year. Now he's a captain. True story of, working hard, getting your shots up, and what can happen. I love the report. And, yeah, definitely if this is his last year, he can make a run.
Yeah, Kaleb is also, like Nick Mandelis, an extremely annoying player to play against. He is a person who I have tried to Draymond before, and it just doesn't work because Kaleb is a bigger frame and also pretty even-keeled. So, yeah, I mean, Caleb's just a solid player, pretty annoying to play against. I know from our one-on-one matchups during journalism when we'd leave class and go to the gym. Yeah, Kaleb is not fun to play against.
During my time at Syracuse, my freshman year, I'd always go to Barnes to play some basketball with my friends, and I would see Kaleb in the gym playing 5-on-5 versus much more athletic guys than anyone we have playing in this tournament. I think he's ready. I expect him to once again this year at least, make a very deep run. I played on his team 2 years ago when Shane was the captain, and he wasn't even captain yet, and we did pretty good. But this year, full-blown captain, I expect him to make a very deep run. He's got a very good jump shot. And
all right. So next up, here he is, Max Schulman. He goes to the Ohio State University. Can't put enough emphasis on the at the beginning. He's he's an A+. I mean, this is about as simple as it gets. So let's not be mistaken. Even after, which was an upset loss to Ameen in the championship last year, this is still his tournament to lose, in my opinion. In my expert opinion. He can and will win with anybody, as he proved of taking a team consisting of Churko and Hannes to the championship in 2 straight years and winning one. He has the best overall game in the tournament, and he'll continue his dominance again this year. He can score from any spot of the floor and guard the other team's best player. And if he gets a little more help from his other players, I mean, he'll be right back in the championship and probably win the championship. And this isn't a spot-on comparison, but the way I think of it, if it means the tournament's Jordan, the most accomplished player, then Max is the tournament's LeBron. He's the best player. And I don't think there's much. I don't think you can really debate that too much.
Great. I'd like to go first on this one. I think he's had the same team back-to-back years, correct? Of Hannes and Churko. And that was mainly due to the fact that they won it 2 years ago, so he had to keep the same team. I expect him to switch it up. I don't expect him – or, I mean, I would expect him to draft Hannes again, but I expect
Churko's not on his team this year.
That's what I'm getting at. Sorry, Churko, but I expect Max to go with someone else this year and give him that piece that'll lead them to a championship. I would expect him to win it this year. I don't see him losing again, especially the way they did last year. But yeah, best player.
Yeah, Max is definitely the best player in the tournament. I think you nailed this one. Great comparison with me being Jordan, Max being LeBron. Max is somebody I loved growing up playing with, and I hated growing up playing against, even in practice and stuff, and especially in 3-on-3, he's just tough to beat, man. It's his court. Not only that, he can score from anywhere on there. So you nailed this one, definitely best player in the tournament. Churko, if for some reason Max did pass up on your talents, I have a secret plan, which is not so secret anymore, to draft 2 other former JD linemen, depending on Chris Parker's availability and Maxwell Churko. So Churko, if you want to like not bomb it this year, then you'll be on my radar. But just let me know, man. I know you gained some weight. That's fine with me. I'm another big dude. I want a beefy team this year, Churko. But hey, man, just keep working on your craft, dude. Don't let him sleep on you, because I'm not.
Yeah, I feel like obviously Max's home court, which is an advantage, but I feel like he could carry just about any team pretty far. Just overall very sound basketball player. Not a lot of flaws to pick out there. So
yeah, I mean, just like what we said, we did like the rankings for high school athletes. Like he was always the best, and then he just continued to get better, and then he got taller, and then it was like, what the fuck? Yeah, and it's as simple as that. All right, I think this is the last. Yeah, this is the last one. So last but not least is Shane Wright. Goes to Syracuse University. Think he's deserving of an A+, simply based off the fact of his CYO dominance. But I'll get into that when as you can probably see. So I think Shane actually had a pretty disappointing showing in last year's tournament, in my opinion. I think he's going to come into the year with a chip on his shoulder to win the whole thing. I mean, last year he tried the whole 2 big man experiment with Sahil, and Sahil was going to be my first pick because I had to pick after Shane, but Shane's a dick and took Sahil. Didn't really work out well. Tim, you can attest to that. I think you guys won like 1 game?
Yeah, we went 1 and 2, but I could talk about that when I'm up.
Yeah. All right. So, but Shane has the championship experience as he won the first ever tournament, but that was 4 years ago. So can Shane do it again? Shane's the prototype for a big man. He can score, defend, rebound. He plays well with his teammates most of the time. Last year was just, I think it was just a whole mess. They had 4 people, 2 bit. It was just a mess. And he's known for his patented Shane special. And all you really have to know about Shane and why he has an A+ is he averaged about 45 points a game and 20 rebounds per game in CYO. But hopefully Shane won't be in his feels the day the tournament comes around because, Shane's been in his feels lately. Shout out Shane. And if he isn't, you better watch out for his team.
I think I'll go first here.
Go ahead, Tim.
So what was I going to say? Oh yeah. I think it's a clear 1 and 2 who the best players are in this tournament. It's Max and then Shane. Of course, last year I was on his team with Sahil. We won, I believe, our first game, and then we lost back-to-back games to get knocked out. And believe it or not, I was the leading scorer throughout the tournament for our team. So Shane knows that himself. He had a disappointing show last year, but that won't repeat. We've talked about maybe a link back up in this year's tournament. We'll see what happens. See where I fall in the draft, but I would expect him to make a very good run this year. Prove that he is the second best player in this tournament. Maybe prove he's the best. You never know.
Murphy, you want to go next, or if you want me to go?
Yeah, sure, I can go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Shane's also another just very good overall athlete, and he's obviously pretty good at basketball. Yeah, he has lice, so you don't really want to touch him that much, which plays to his advantage. He kind of smells bad because he's in the shower, so it's tough to get close to him. But yeah, he's an elite 3v3 player. Yeah, not much else to say. I mean, it is an alarming stat to have Tim as your leading scorer on your team. It probably does show that you had a down year. Tim has fallen victim to me several times, one-on-one, and this is when I was much larger, Murph. And
exactly, you're much larger than me and still are.
So yeah, it's alarming, but I think Shane can rebound. Pretty good athlete. So yeah, a lot of faith in Shane.
Yeah, really quickly first, Tim, you are on my radar. We'll talk about that after the podcast. I'm gonna need some game film, but it's not. It's in my brain. All right, to talk about Shane. Growing up, I felt like for a while, me and Shane used to just go at it. The one I'm going to talk about is in 8th grade. Shout out Manny. I was on Manny's basketball team. Me and Manny and Tim were on the year before. And we played Shane's team with Shane and CP and JUIA, and me and Shane scored every bucket for our team 11 times in a row. Shane finished with about 30. I finished with about 50 on Chris Parker. Yes, Chris, 50. No joke. Even Shane had missed to it. And that was probably my basketball prime. And that was when I was a little bit better than Shane. I used to give him some shit for it because we've been friends forever. And then right around, sophomore year-ish at the end of the year, he got better than me. And it's been a tough pill to swallow. But then this year on CYO, man, like I thought, getting the ball to Shane was the easiest thing you could do. And that dude, like 45 a game is low-key not even an exaggeration. Like this dude, a bad game would be like 34. And he would have like 24 in the first half and wow, Shane's kind of slowing down today. Like he's not doing as good. So, but yeah, Shane definitely deserves it. Easily, top 2 player in the tourney. I think he's going to ball out this year. I think the him and Sahil experiment, you guys beat us, Tim, correct?
Yeah, I think you were.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because it gave me problems if you're playing a team with the big man being the captain. But once you play guards, I'm pretty sure that's why, you struggle a little bit. But when you have a big man as captain, Shane and Sahil double teaming me, I didn't know what the fuck to do. Shane's a hell of a player. I think he's going to make a run in this tournament. And he got really good, dude. Like he was really good last year, but he's only been at Barnes shooting around and having fun and shit. So
he's also lost some weight, so maybe he's not going to be as tough down low as he once was, but he's still going to be.
He might be a little quicker now. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, he's still pretty strong.
He's a good
I'm not discrediting that.
He got stronger. I think that's clear.
All right.
Also noted, Shane is the third puzzle piece of the.
Oh well, if like Murphy said before, if me, Murphy, and Shane were allowed to be on a team, we would run through the tournament. Max, I'm sorry, you would not beat us. Steve knows he's not beating us. Bobby knows he's not beating us. Leo, you're not even in this tournament, but you know you can't beat us.
Leo, I broke him.
Yeah, Murphy mentally destroyed Leo, and Leo has never had a good jump shot, but his jump shot is completely trashed ever since he's played against us. CP, you know you can't beat us. Whoever played us at Bobby's house or Carter's house knows they can't beat us. They just know they can't.
Yeah, to your guys' credit, that I've never remembered losing so many basketball games in a row. Especially when the hoop was lower, I thought I had in the bag, but damn.
Yeah, I think the hoop was at 9 and we were winning.
Yeah, no, because I remember I could dunk, and I was like, well, I'm gonna dunk. Like I'm just gonna dunk. This is gonna be great. And yeah, I never. That was a tough day for me. But you guys just that if that ever did somehow happen, if somehow the captains changed one year, that'd be something fun to watch. But yeah, I think you nailed the Shane grade.
I mean, we know that's impossible though, because 2 captains. So, you know, I'm sure that would be the tournament winning team, but it's just an if. So that won't be the team. But yeah.
I think something real quick we can do without having the teams, just a quick, way too early prediction on 3 captains that could win beside yourself. So I'm not going to say me and or Gabe, you know what I mean? Yeah. And just I'll start really quickly. Just make it quick. 3 captains I think that can win this year. One, of course, Shane if he gets a good team around him, and then I'm gonna have a sleeper pick. So I'm gonna have 3. Shane I think can win. Max obviously, and Ameen. Those are my 3 that I think definitely could win. My sleeper is I'm going to make it 2-1. I think if Gibby seems pretty determined, if he can get a team around him, he can definitely make a run. And then my other sleepers, I think Kaleb McCloud's skill level has only been improving, like Shane's talked about, and he can make some noise if he gets some guys around him. So we never know, but those are some teams I think that could really compete in this tourney.
Only thing about Kaleb is that similar to myself, he doesn't draft too well, and as a big man, it's so much easier to draft.
It is easier to draft, yeah.
But like Kaleb, man, I'm almost positive Goody was on your team last year, and I'm pretty sure you picked him with like the 5th pick in the draft. And Goody, I love you, Goody, but you stink at basketball, Zach. I'm sorry. It has to be said. It has to be said. You throw the ball up, you clap 2 times, and you dribble. I don't know what that is. It's horrible. You should never do that ever again. But I'll keep it at that.
I would like to throw out there, Zach is my son in basketball. He's always thought he's been better than me. He never has. I've beat him twice on his own court, which it should be noted is tilted. And the hoop is just, like, destroyed at this point. And I'm undefeated against him there. And then, obviously, at other venues, he still hasn't beaten me before. Yeah, Zach, I run you. Just want you to know that.
All right, Zach, you can disregard that. I have a real question for Gib. Besides Hannes, who we know is not a captain, and we know who will be drafted by Max, do we know who the tallest
it's either going to be Sahil or CP.
I think CP is a little taller than Sahil, but I could be wrong.
A little taller than Sahil.
Okay.
Who's giving their 3 now?
Huh?
I mean, obviously, Steve hit it on the head. I mean, Shane, Max, and Ameen. I mean, more so Ameen and Max just because Ameen's the Spurs and Max is LeBron. And, Shane kind of was horrible last year. So I think it's going to be better. But then 2 guys I think can win it. Obviously, anyone can win it. I'll just throw that out there. I think the 2 worst teams that have no chance at winning it is going to be Pat's team because he doesn't know – he wants people to give him the ball. And then Broad's team is going to be Brott and Carter and someone else, and that team is just going to rely on Carter's 3-point shooting.
Fair.
I think we could see a real guard win it this year in Bobby's team.
I think Bobby. It depends.
Bobby has the heart to win.
It all depends who the guard drafts. Like the big men, like I've said before, and I think we've all talked about it, have the easiest way to go because everyone that's draftable is pretty much a guard.
Yes.
Other than Murph, CP, Sahil, Will Conley. I don't know if he's playing this year, but I know he played last year, and I took him.
Is Thomas Harley playing?
No.
Okay.
No.
That would be –
there's some stupid conflict with, like, professional sports or something. I don't know. Something dumb.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be fair.
I mean, no. I don't care that the professional thing doesn't mean anything. It's just he just showed up and won. I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like that's a little that was tainted. Ameen had I think Ameen had a plan the first year. He's like, I'm going to bring Thomas. He's going to be on my team, and no one's going to know about it. So if I knew about Thomas going into play, I probably would have picked Thomas because I needed a big man. But I won't get into that.
I mean, who wouldn't draft the NHL draft pick? It's just.
But yeah, no, I'm just
Is
saying.
he a defenseman too? Like, how is one of us supposed to?
Yeah, a defenseman on skates, but you're probably a very good defenseman.
I want another arm wrestling match. Thomas Harley, I want to arm wrestle you again soon. Next time you're in Syracuse, I will literally start doing a curl workout. I haven't lived it down.
Steve isn't too happy about that.
Yeah.
Still to this day.
Like 80-1.
But other than like the three obvious ones that can win it, I mean, obviously Steve, like he said, Steve's been pretty far in the tournament. I think he can get there again. Also, don't sleep on Tyson or Nick Mandelis. I think Nick is the big one. I think, was it 2 years ago where he broke his foot during the tournament, or was that 3 years ago?
But they were far. I think they were in like the.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's been there, and then he broke his foot. It was him, Carter, and Mateo. I'm pretty sure, and they went to like the Final Four. Then he broke.
I know you're talking about for sure.
So
Yeah.
Nick can do it with pretty much anybody. So, expect him to do something in the tournament.
Yeah, no, Nick. Yeah, that was the other guy. If T gets hot, man, it's just like the same thing I said about Gibby. If either those guys get hot, they can easily make a run. And then Nick's just a consistent bucket. So like if Nick gets some good matchups, man, he could easily be in the Final Four. So it's tough. Like it's like as me as a captain, like I need to find a good team where guys like Max and Nick and like those guys and Shane don't need to find the best team and still find a way to win games. So I know I definitely have to give credit to those guys because they just ball out.
Yeah, for my three, I got obviously Max and Ameen, and then I'm for Gib. Just because.
Murphy. For everyone in the draft, I don't care if you're a captain. I'm drafting Murphy in the first round. Period. And if any of you takes Murphy in the first round, we can fist fight over it on the court.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, Tim.
Well, maybe it's a two-part question here. Once again, you shoot for the picks, right? It's a 3-point contest.
I think so, but I'm not positive.
No, I feel like it's always different each year because
it never works out well for the
because
big.
do you really want the first pick? That's why I think it should be out of a hat. The first pick, you're probably gonna end up with.
I think we shot for it 2 years ago, and then last year Max picked things out of a hat. I think he wrote each of our names down.
The hat weighs better because
honestly, like you said, Tim, the first pick
you don't
isn't the best pick unless if you're
a guard.
If you're a guard, it's not like you have to be. Kaleb is the type of guy that could get the first pick and then do something with it. Because, you get Kaleb, let's say he drafts like Anthony Barbuto, right? A good guard, can score a little bit, can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Or no, Kaleb picks Jackson. I picked Jackson with the second pick last year. Kaleb and Jackson would fit better than me and Jackson because me and Jackson basically do the same thing. We both are guards that want to shoot.
Somewhat the same height, so.
And then, so Kaleb and Jackson already is two people. Kaleb can play a big man if he has to, and Jackson can play against any guard there. They can sacrifice waiting till the end of the second round to get one of the lower players, but they can still win off those two. I can't win with me and Jackson, then I get a C grade big man. That's the difference.
That's a good point for sure. I think you're better off at the very top of the draft, like 1 or 2, or the very bottom. Those spots in between get tricky because then you find yourself picking players you weren't because you have your guy you want to pick and then he's off the board and then I might want this guy and then you're just picking 2 guys in the spot and that's happened to me a couple of times where I'm just kind of like, well, shit, I wanted this guy. I'm going to just pick 2 guys. And I've been very blessed with the teams I've had. Yeah. No shots fired. I haven't carried my own weight the last couple of tournaments. I love our Bobby rematch, run it back. I won the last one, but he could get the next one. It'd be a nice fiery rematch. But unfortunately, Murph would probably be in Gibbs' team this time, so it won't be the same.
Murphy's my first pick. I don't care what if someone takes Murphy in the first round, that means someone else is going to be there, and I'm still going to win because I'm giving Murphy a first round grade. It's like when Belichick went to scout that Middle Tennessee guy. It's literally the same thing. I'm telling everyone I'm drafting Murphy. And someone's going to go, maybe Murphy's really good at basketball now. I'm going to take Murphy. And then I'm going to look like a genius. Because I either get Murphy because me and him play well together, or I get someone else that has equal to more skill than Murphy.
Last thing I'll say before we end it until tomorrow.
All right, wait. Let me –
Oh, wait, yeah, go ahead.
I'm not going to say I'm going to finish it by tomorrow because there's like 25 people I have to do, and it takes probably, 5 to 7 minutes to do each person, and it kind of gets boring after doing like 3 of them.
Well, I mean, yeah, we could have another late recording session. You could spend.
Yeah, no, I mean, I told because CP texted and asked me, so I told it would be done at the latest at the end of the week, at the absolute latest. That's
the podcast this week will either focus on this or something related to this, so we'll talk about it no matter what we do. So it's going to be We'll be fine. Well, no matter how long it takes. And also, really quickly, not related to the podcast today, but shout out Angela Foster just officially signed with the Edmonton Eskimos, CFL Canadian Football League team, and he's a former Cortland wideout. We're all happy for him. Just really quickly, sorry about that, but I had to throw that in there.
That's cool. Very.
Yeah, I also want to add a comment, Tim. For the sake of the viewers, you might want to invest in the light, maybe. So
Yeah, Tim, I've heard Leo's told me your room was too dark. My cousin Robbie's like, why is Tim's room like black when it's noon out?
So.
So.
Yeah, Tim, you look like a serial killer. Fix it.
Yeah, we'll fix that. We'll invest in some better lights. My message to the commissioner, Max Schulman. Last year we had 3 extra people that made the teams. That made a couple teams of 4. So we'll see if we can cut that down, make this a real 3v3 tournament with no subs. But we'll see you either tomorrow.
Schulman said that he's gonna finalize the roster, and there may or may not be some cuts. He said.
Yeah, so we'll see you when Gib finishes it, whether it's tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah, tomorrow. All right, I'll give you some percentages. Tomorrow is like a 65% chance I get it done. Thursday, it's like a 98% chance I get it done. And Friday, there's a 100% chance it's done. So.
All right, so we'll be here at least by Friday. If we don't have it done tomorrow, maybe we'll give you a little short 30-minute episode, maybe some trivia on the tournament or something like that. But we'll see you when we see you. Thank you for being captains, and to all the draftees, you'll see your name soon. So goodbye.